5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
They ain't never seen nothing like this before. Lit the room when I came through the front door. Ask me if I should overcome, what for? Train on the trees, please pardon my sycamore. Touch burning sands, cross lands and stormy shore seasons in the year, yeah. Ain't no challenge for champions and chain no fear. Yeah, the champions, yeah.
Good morning, everybody. Today, the day after the election. It is November 4th, Wednesday, bright and early. It's only 10 after 10. It's only 10 after 10. It was a late night. I don't know if you can tell by the extremely purple bags under my eyes. I have those all the time, though. Right? It's I think it's a genetic thing. My dad's got ridiculous bags. He's got like bags on top of bags on top of bags. And I've had them since I was like 6 months old. So I have a feeling that it's genetic. Some of my kids have it too. Good morning to everybody in the comments section. Right out of the gate, Bethany. She's been trying to catch a good news show all morning. Blah. Glad you're on it. Yes, I am on it. I stayed up really, really late. I was like half tempted to be, they can handle it. There are other shows they can watch. And then I realized, no, there are not. There are not other shows, right? The world is lacking great shows that are covering this stuff, and even a lot of the good ones. You know, I tried watching a whole bunch of different programs with analysts and pollsters and everything else, and I was like, this is garbage. These people are garbage, right? They're not even fun. They're not fun at all. Eventually, and they're always biting the nails because they have this commercial model that's like, we need you to keep watching the whole time. We don't want you to change the channel because we got to make money. And look, I get it. But, come on, give me a break. We all know what was going on last night. I was happy. I was a happy warrior. I was actually especially happy when I decided to stop watching the news and to tune in to a show called Drunken Bros. And I would not encourage everybody to go there on the regular and stuff. But the one of the main guys there, in fact, he may be the main one. I don't see them very often. But his name is Ross Patterson. He was on InfoWars just yesterday. He was talking, him and the guys, and they were talking about how they're going to do this live stream from a bar. They're going to be drinking and having fun. And it was a blast. And they were optimistic the entire time. Like, you just could not get those guys down. You just couldn't. And it was really refreshing, in fact. Him, and I felt badly because I shared something from Ali Alexander. And I've mentioned him multiple times. He was at a party with Taylor Marshall, right, of Taylor Marshall fame, right? I would say TNT fame, but that's kind of raw. Right, and I'm on the other end of that with old Mr. Gordon. I like that guy, And but he was at a party with him, and he was just comfortable the whole time. He said, "Look, I've got a model that I put together. I called a number of these states early. I've been proven right. I hope that Nate Silver is having a really hard time today, and that maybe everybody just realizes we need to just get rid of Nate Silver. And in fact, pollsters in general, they just got to go. It's a big fat joke." And I shared it and said, it's really refreshing. He's optimistic. And I went back and checked, and oh boy, was kind of tipsy. But he was still optimistic. You know what I'm saying? Annette, good morning to you. Mwah. All the way there in Pennsylvania. Yeah, by the way, barring shenanigans in Philadelphia, and we're going to talk about that, the shenanigans in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania pulled it through. A big thanks to my cousin Dustin. He worked really hard, actually, for the campaign, for the Trump campaign, and was always calling me, asking me, kind of, what's the feel that I've got in Michigan? I'm like, I've got a limited circle, bro. I've got a limited circle. I'm not into that, man, that anecdotal stuff. But I'm a happy warrior, and I took the position anyway, didn't I, guys? Didn't I tell you? Number one, I said it wouldn't be called last night. Do you guys remember that? I said you would see shenanigans. I said you would see delays because they're going to have to figure out a way to make up for the loss. And we saw that. Okay, we saw that. Oh, we got a lot to talk about with that. But I don't want to drown out the first half with that. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to drown out the first half because the first half is supposed to be fun. Although we're having fun. I'm even wearing the tassel, right? Is that what this tinsel? The tassel. Yeah, the tassel up high. We partied hard, guys. I'm dressed down today. T-shirt and everything. So yeah, good morning to you in Pennsylvania. Good morning to you out in Detroit. That was a place I was a little bit worried about. But yes, good morning, brother, to Brian. Straight to the dome. Dude, actually, I've got something right away. I got to tell you guys. I got to tell you this. And Zach, good morning to you. Yes. Oh, Mark Richards, how is counting votes shenanigans? We're going to talk about that, by the way, Mark Richards. We're going to talk about the shenanigans, and I think you know. In fact, look, I think you ought to know because the polling is obviously bunk as crap. You know it. You know it. And okay, here's one way that we know. They did something unprecedented and all went sleepy sleep night night. And remember how everybody was talking about the USPS? They're going to handle it fine. Trump is trying to sow discord and doubt by saying that the USPS won't be able to handle it. They're definitely able to do it. They'll secure and make sure the votes are brought to where they got to be. Oh, yesterday they failed a deadline. They failed a deadline. And you know why they failed a deadline? Oh, here's a coincidental thing. Because they admitted something we all knew. Oh, we only have a couple people in each place that would be able to do it. We're simply not staffed to be able to handle this. Yeah. It was crazy. Shenanigans with pollsters. We'll talk about it. We will talk about it. And look, you can count the votes. That's fine. In fact, go ahead and do it. Count every single one. Fight over the dangling chads all day long. The truth is, there's a thing called a spread. And there's a thing called probability. And there's a thing called counties that are really, really red. So we can play that game all day long. I think Trump did a great job talking about it. And we're going to talk about it. But first, we got to get to the news, folks. And before we get to the news, hold on. This is good. Before we get to the news, I got this friend of mine, Stevie. I love that name, Stevie Wonder, right? Stevie Wonder. She's an awesome chick, by the way. And she wrote this. She wrote 5 years ago. 5 years. It was a memory, okay? And the memory said, "Day 3 without coffee, and I'm not dead yet. Jeremiah Bannister, are you still off the coffee?" And I just, oh my gosh. But hey, I said, wait a second. You're not watching my daily show. You aren't watching. Maybe she is, and this is like the passive-aggressive way of her being like, dude, you got to stop the straight to the dome stuff. Oh, man. Oh, boy. But you know, 5 years ago, I'm a month off the coffee, decided to quit again. How about you? Smiley face. Maybe she does know. Maybe she does know. And I've mentioned to you guys, you know, yeah, okay, so maybe coffee plays a role in the show. Maybe coffee does. I don't know. A little eatsy bit of it in the morning. Oh, and it's even worse because I'm just straight to the dome with the straw, man. My mom asked me about that. She's like, what are you doing? Drinking coffee through a straw. I can't believe you do that. And she's like the third person. I'm like, it's the only way to do it. It's the only way to do it when you live this kind of high-octane, pedal-to-the-metal life that I live. You gotta do it, man. Straight through the straw. So, okay, here we go, guys. It'll keep me alive today. We're gonna do a good job. So, okay, and remember, in the comments, you can go ahead and you can comment on any platform you want. Although Zach is saying it looks like YouTube shut down all the comment sections. Is that true? Is it true? No shenanigans. Oh man, dude. A lot of times, and I don't look. Mark is a nice guy. Mark is someone I care about. I hope he understands the shtick of this a little bit. But at the same time, a lot of the people who deny the shenanigans and stuff, a lot of those people are the same ones who are like, "Oh, dude, the Steele dossier is totally true. oh my gosh, dude, Russia collusion is real. Or, oh man, it was treason with Ukraine. Or, oh my gosh, I think Trump had a secret channel through Spectrum Hospitals talking to the Ruskies. And I'm like, ah! Ah! So when people say that, yeah, right, shenanigans, whatever, I'm thinking, oh no, there's a lot of them, in fact. But here's the thing, just as a last thing before we go to the funny, last thing, is that I'm not as worried about that as I am about the complete meltdown that's going to take place beginning, I don't know, I would say today, but it began last night. But it will begin more and more and more. We are going to see a meltdown of apocalyptic proportions. We're going to see it. You think that one chick out on the street going, ah, screaming at the sun, no, doing that thing. You think that was bad? Oh, man. And they're already out in full force, even stabbing people. We'll talk about that. You better be prepared. But first, we're going to have a lot of fun, guys. We're going to have a lot of fun. Oh, no, we are not. We're not going to have fun with this. Oh, and it's gray. It blends in with rocks. Oh, okay. What is this thing? Other than evil, other than a demon spawn, what the heck is this? Oh, it's rare. Oh, thank God. It's very rare. The Great Fox Spider. This is at ladbible.com by Tom Wood. Tom Wood, man, he's on it, right? He's kind of like Sonya. You know, is she over at NDTV, or where is Sonya writing from? Maybe we'll see her today. Tom Wood, he's got to have a good time doing this, and he's got to know, man. Now that we're on this, and he knows what we're up to, he's got to know, right? He's got to know we're probably the main group that shares the stuff. That he's like, oh, these scared Jeremiah, and all day long he's like, I can't wait to see him freak out. Yes, and Barbara, hello from Wisconsin. Yes. So the rare great fox spider. Oh, it's discovered in the UK. Oh, for the first time since 1990s. Oh, I'm so relieved. It's over there. It's over there. You can deal with them, buddy. Look at this. Honestly, though, he's kind of cute. Oh no, he's got more than. Oh, look at the eyes. You always know he's looking at you from many different perspectives, many different angles. But it's still kind of cute. Like, you'd almost want to pet him, you know, and that cute little mustache. Why did, God made them so great with those mustaches. Look at that. We should have a spider mustache competition. We should do that. Put little gel. Oh, I was told that I should do that I need to have that old stash, man, the swirly stash, the Pringles man stash. Raleigh Fingers mustache, that I need to get back to that. Talked to an old friend about that, actually. It's cool talking to Elijah and his fiance, Alicia. Very cool. So, okay, here we go. A rare spider that uses powerful venom to liquefy the organs, this is looking bad, of its prey, has been discovered on a military training site. Dude, yes! We knew it. Is this at all surprising? Oh, of all the places that we could find this rare spider, it's on a military training site. Of course it is, because we are enduring right now not just the craziness in the world, but the great animal uprising of 2020. It's happening all around us. All around us. They're even starting to talk, dude. I've seen movies. I've seen movies, man. Their mouths are moving. They're going on spy adventures. They're flying in outer space, man. Oh. The great fox spider was previously thought to be extinct. Jurassic Park, anybody remember? We talked about this with those nematodes. What was it? Was it Hellbenders? Goodness gracious. People are like, I bet it was, and I bet some crazy scientist brought it back. We got to find that guy. Be like, stop doing that, bro. Haven't you seen the documentary Jurassic Park? He's been listed as critically endangered. Okay. But wildlife enthusiast must be. Mike Waite has now turned up some of the large spiders on a Ministry of Defense. Oh, it's a ministry now. Ugh, it's definitely Illuminati confirmed. It's definitely. Now they're not just involved in military stuff. Now they're even in the ministry. England's got some weird ministries over there. The spiders have only ever been observed at 3 sites in the UK: in Dorset and Surrey. Surrey, man. That's like is in Surrey. From 4 Men by Hilary Belloc. I should know that. I have a listener, man, who would know. He's got to let me know. And had been seen at all, and hadn't been seen at all since the early 90s. Waite said that he was over the moon to have proven that the 2-inch, 5-centimeter spiders were still present. Dude, look at that. You know, what would you do if you saw it? I mean, I know that it's endangered. But the knee-jerk reaction, would they take you to court? I mean, I can imagine they'd be like, look, you're in big trouble. You killed a critically endangered spider. And you're like, I know, but dude, look at it. Okay? And then the judge is like, well, he has a point. And that's the end of it. That's the end of it. You ain't going to jail for that. You know, they can't get you on just knee-jerk reactions. I mean, that's totally reasonable. Oh, man. Oh, he discovered spiderlings. Baby spiders. Oh, no. That's not good. Many hours of late-night searching with a torch over the last 2 years. With a torch? This guy's taking it, extreme. I would think if somebody says they were taking a torch out to go look for spiders, that they would also have hairspray and, killing them. Oh, man. But maybe not this guy. He's got a nice stash. He told The Guardian, as soon as my torch fell on it, I knew what it was. I was elated. With coronavirus, of course, it's all tied in, guys. It's all tied in. Like Dr. Derek said, if you haven't seen that, you got to check it out. It's a great, insightful piece by Dr. Derek at paleocratdiaries.com. With coronavirus, there have been lots of ups and downs this year, and I also turned 60. So it was a good celebration of that. It's a gorgeous spider if you're, into that kind of thing. If you're, into that. Apparently it doesn't make webs. Instead, it kills smaller spiders. Ooh. Wait a second. Beetles and ants. And it injects them with venom that immobilizes them and liquefies their internal organs. Dude, I need one as a pet. We may have actually found a friend. We may have found a friend amongst the spiders. At last! At last! Oh, dude, I need one. I need one right now. Hey, staff, I've got the whole gang here today. They're watching right now in the towers here at Castle Paleocrat. Staff, I need you on it stat. I know that Ambrose and Athen are really good with computers and stuff like that. You guys need to find out what are the laws about owning, a critically endangered spider. What are the laws about that? And what kind of lawyers will work with us, on getting around it? We can even send Teresa and Lucian and Wolfgang to maybe go snag that bugger. Apparently all you need is a torch. Just walk around at night over in England. Apparently that's all you need. Oh my gosh, man. Oh my gosh. In the comments before we move on, Bethany, coffee through a straw is nothing less than what I'd expect from the man that takes cold showers. Oh, it's so true. It's so true. I take cold showers. In fact, I did take a warm one recently. My wife insisted, right? She's like, look, if you want to cuddle and stuff, you got to be warm. Because I get in there and I'm like an icicle. And I'm like, but you like ice, ice pops and stuff. You like ice cream. Like, why don't you love me? I'm like that. In the comments, that spider is cute in a night terror sort of way. Oh, dude, we would be so scared. Yeah. Paul says, I'm pretty sure Kamungo was inspired by that particular spider. Paul. I know you, buddy. I know you, dude. I miss you, man. I love you, buddy. I'm serious, man. The coronavirus really wrecked a lot of stuff, dude. We were supposed to chill. We were supposed to hang out. I haven't even seen your girl, bro. I haven't even been to your apartment. I'm starting to think there's some kind of a conspiracy going on around here. I'm starting to wonder. Oh, let's see what else we're going to wonder about today. What's this? What is this? Primary school walks on mechanical legs to new location. What? A primary school in China has walked on mechanical legs to a new location in a bid to preserve the 85-year-old structure. You can see it being done here. Oh my gosh, is this... Dude, look at that building. Look at those legs. Dude, that guy's a machine. Oh my gosh. Okay. That looks kind of fake. Oh no, it's real. Dude. Whoa. Look at that. Look at those legs pumping. That is unreal, man. Imagine, it's like one of those things, like, you know, when people work on cars and they're like, you know, you got to get a couple jacks and stuff, you to stabilize it, you got to secure it and everything. This one requires a lot. How many were there? What is up with this? 198. How heavy was this building? This is unreal, man. To complete the impressive feat, engineers attached 198 mechanical legs to the underneath of the structure. This, in turn, made it possible to walk the 203 foot to its new location in Shanghai. So wait a second. 203 feet. Oh, I thought I was going to say tall. Yeah, 203 feet. So, okay, wait a second. How long did it take? How long did this thing take, man? Oh, does it even say? Oh, in total, this move took 18 days. What? But, I mean, hey, dude, give them some props. That's unreal, man. Oh, my gosh. Being able to move an entire building like that. Wow. Oh, speaking of wow, look at this, guys. Polar bear attacks and damages Leonardo helicopter. What, Leonardo DiCaprio? What? Dude, did I miss this, guys? Did you guys get the wire on that? I mean, it's September 30th, so yeah, it was last week. Apparently, a polar bear attacks and damages Leonardo's helicopter. Large muddy paw print left on aircraft window. Oh, he's letting everybody know. It's like Titanic, dude. It's like, you know what I'm talking about. You know the scene. Down there. It might not have been just one polar bear, if you know what I'm saying. Oh my gosh, a helicopter assembled by Leonardo Helicopters. I still think that might be Leonardo DiCaprio. Maybe. Has been attacked by a polar bear in Canada. The CH-149 Cormorant helicopter was left damaged by the curious animal. They're assuming it was curious and not just simply bloodthirsty. See, this is a big conspiracy, by the way. The Ordites love this. The New World Ordites. They all do, to peddle the idea that polar bears are nice and comfy and cozy and sweet. And we just got to protect their homes. The fact is, what we don't get, man, is they're coming for us. When you see them on that little ice patch, right, that's been broken off because of the warming and stuff, the truth is, man, that's actually a boat. And they are coming over here. They're coming to get you. And that's how they do it, man. The reason they look sad isn't because they're hungry. They lost their paddle. Or they just realized they hadn't whittled one before they set out to sea. Staff on a training exercise left the aircraft parked at the remote Saglik Airport near the Labrador Sea. Oh, Labrador Sea. This is major time esoteric symbolism, guys. We are seeing all of the connections right now. We are seeing all of the connections. I think upstairs, man, we've got how many of those little tacks do we have in our board at this point? I think we got like 300. With all the strings and stuff, red strings for like red alert, high intensity, be super aware, eyes wide open kind of news stories from around the world having to do with the animal insurrection. It's real, and we are on it. In fact, we are the #1 show. I'm afraid to ever say that. Like, we're the #1 show that talks daily between 10 and noon about the great animal uprising of 2020. I am afraid to say stuff like that because, the YouTube and Facebook, they're like, that's fake news. And I'm like, show me somebody who does it better than us. Between 10 and noon every single day. They never do. But they use that as a reason to shut us down. What's this? Woman who ignored all decorating rules shows off amazing home transformation. This is over at Mirror, Rosaline Fenton. And real quick, man, who is the well, I don't think Sonia was over at the other. The last article was over at Somerset Live. Yeah, somersetlive.co.uk. Want to give credit where it's due. We want them to keep writing these amazing stories, man, keeping us aware of all the kind of nonsense going on in the animal kingdom all around the world. All right. Elise LeBlanc completely transformed her old-fashioned house into an incredible brightly colored dream home, complete with unique features and lots of character. Oh, let's see this thing. Okay. Let's see if we can enlarge this maybe a little bit. Can we? Be nice if we could. Oh, maybe. I'm not even worried about it. So wait a second. Hold on a second. So she didn't take advice from anybody. Like, everybody gave her advice on what to do, and she did the opposite of this? Okay, like, what does that mean? So I did the opposite. Dude, she got a TikTok channel. She's looking like she's TikToking. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So I did the opposite. She's all like this. You know, I want to start doing that, guys. I've been practicing in the mirror. And that way, you know, when I'm on, I can sit there and do this kind of thing. And do that. You know what I mean? I think it would really help the show. I think a lot of people be like, ooh, he's doing that one face like her. Here we go. Hey. And I need to learn to smile with, like, gap between, like, under my teeth. Here you go. See that? I look like a Muppet. like Mayor Frog. What's that guy's name? What's that mayor's name, man, from Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas? That's special, dude. I look like Doc Frog, man. So let's see this house. Man, half of it is just her. We're interested in the house, lady. No! She's even doing the tongue out of the teeth thing. Okay. So you got a mural on the ceiling. What in the world? What would you guys do, by the way, as you're watching this? What would you do? What would you do? Let's see. So, just a mural, wallpaper, your fireplace. That's not, you know, I don't know. It's interesting. You know, isn't it? I mean, and why is the TV there? That's a convenient place. We were going to put our TV up like that, but it was too high. Our necks would all be, you know, kinked backward and stuff. It's ridiculous. So decided that wasn't a good idea. Paint your walls and trim black. All right, it's kind of original, you know what I'm saying? Paint all the doors in your house a different color. I'm down with this a little bit. I'm down with that, but look, it's kind of bland, though. You see that? Ugh. I don't know, man. She should have done bright colors. It sounds like she's being edgy and, like, you know, kind of avant-garde with all of this, but then she uses gray and this kind of blah brown. Yeah, just not and look at that nice, like, color right next to it. I don't mean to be rude. I mean, she's obviously putting a lot of effort into this. You know, she should have put as much effort into being creative with that as she was with the facial expressions that she made when recording this TikTok video. Oh, yeah, dude, look. I knew it, dude. I knew it. Elise LeBlanc shared her handiwork on TikTok. I knew it, dude. I knew it. On TikTok, the social media user has shared several videos capturing the laborious process of renovating the home. Oh. This lady's TikToking it up. I knew it, man. I can see this stuff from a mile away. I'm a pro, guys. You can trust me. I will not lead you astray. I will not lead you astray. Believe me. Oh, dude, man. Yeah. I will not lead you astray. In the comment section real quick, You have Brian saying heavily caffeinated chai tea latte over there. Yes, dude, raise that glass high. We're pumped up today, having a great time, laughing good, having a blast. Let's see here. Pliskin, woohoo, 2020 chaos. Yeah, we're going to talk about it. We are going to talk about that. Yes. Zach says, if the FCC fairness doctrine was still in place, Trump would have won in a landslide. I actually agree with you on that, Zach. Yeah. I agree with you on that. I think that the libertarian-styled model of, just kind of this, everybody has their own station sort of thing. I think it's one of the reasons we're so balkanized as a country. I do. I think it's the reason why we're balkanized. I think it's the reason why you can see so much blatant media control. I think it's a good thing that and not just like, wouldn't it be nice? Like, try convincing Chris Cuomo and all the goons over at CNN, or even at Fox. Look at even Fox. Look at what Fox does. They bring on people like Juan Williamson, right? Or Juan Williams. They bring on Donna Brazil. You know what I mean? Like, dude, give me a break. What was that one fat slob guy's name? He had the suspenders and stuff every day. He wasn't, he was terrible. But I kind of miss him a little bit. He was very slobbish, though. Like, he didn't take good care of himself. It's one thing to be very fat. It's another thing to be very fat and gross with terrible ideas. Okay, wait a second. What is this, Technology Wednesday? What's up with this? Weird Tech Wednesday? This car can transform into an airplane. I thought I was the only person who had that. We got it out back. Oh, ours is cooler than this. Yeah, ours is one of them Humvee limos that flies. Yeah, let's see. The latest generation of flying car, developed by Klein Vision Company, transforms the road vehicle into an air vehicle in less than 3 minutes. 3 minutes? That's longer. That's about as much time as I take, taking those cold showers. There's a lot of music that can go on. You can listen to a song on the radio and be all the way done. And you're like, is that car transformed yet? And you're like, no, it's still working on it. You're like, oh, okay. It's kind of boring. Dude, people would turn the channel. You're like waiting. Clunk, 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 clunk. You're waiting. You're like, well, I've seen Transformers. Like, what's up with that? Why is it that, this car doesn't transform faster? Is there a video of this, brother? The video. Where's the video, man? Oh, no. Oh, it's right here. Okay. Is this a 3-minute long video? If it is, we're fast forwarding, guys. Look at that thing, though. Yeah, it's pretty nice. Pretty nice. And look at that guy. Boomer Joe. You can do it. I like that music too, man. It's nuts. Pretty crazy, man. Okay, come on. Oh! How high is this guy gonna go? Look at this, guys. Look at that. Yeah! You did it! Woo! You did it! Oh, I bet he's crying. Yes! We made it! We made it! I bet. Oh, no audio? What? No audio? It said there was audio. Yeah, there's audio, man. Maybe not audio on certain places. That'd be terrible. Dude, is it serious? Let's hope not. This is Julius 1917. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I hope that music turned out, because that was powerful. That was like one of the most inspiring moments I've ever seen. Seeing Boomer Bob, man, up in there. Oh, and he's just like, we can do this, guys. And everybody's crossing their fingers. They're like, come on. And he goes, wow. Next thing you know, man, he's like flying way over top of flyover country. Way behind, he's got a MAGA flag, dude, flying. He's like, we can do it. And everybody's like, yes. Oh, man. Oh, buddy. Yeah. In the comments, would you need a driver's license or a pilot license? Or would you need both, dude? Oh, my gosh. This might get us in trouble. What is this? Oh, it's the last funny one of the day? Oh, that's okay. We've been having tons of fun. We've been having a good time, guys, haven't we? Oh, I love this show. I love you guys. We're a wolf pack. We're a cuddly wolf pack. We've got fangs, but we're a cuddly wolf pack. Top 10 bizarre U.S. town names. Didn't we do this before? It's by Christopher Dale. This is over at listverse.com. Okay, we did the town of Swastika. We did that one before. Yeah, okay. So this one's going to have... Oh, so number 10. Did it say that number 10 is Swastika? Okay. I'm guessing that they thought Swastika was number 10. Dude, imagine what number 1 is if Swastika is 10. What? Oh my gosh, man. So number 9, Accident, Maryland. Really? The story of Accident begins with, well, you know, an accident. In the early 1770s, Marylander George Deakins was in line to receive 600 acres of the colony's land of his choosing from King George II of England as a royal debt payment to find the choicest property. Right? He hired 2 separate surveyors to make their best recommendations. Yeah, and apparently it was an accident. Yeah, okay. It was independently, each returned to Deakins with identical reports. It was a happy accident. Okay. So that's kind of a boring one. That's like almost too literal, you know. No, knock 'em stiff. Knock 'em stiff, Ohio. Dude, I would visit Knock 'em Stiff, Ohio. You might have to blindfold me, you know, make me all kind of disoriented by whacking me in the face a bunch of times and twirling me in a circle around a baseball bat, throwing me into the back of, like, you know, some kind of a big truck or that flying car to actually be willing to even go into Ohio. But if I was there, knock 'em stiff. Knock 'em stiff. I would go in a heartbeat, man. The South Central Ohio town of about 56,000 is a joke writer's dream. How many names opened the door for violence, sex, and the killer combo of violence, you know, with the, you know, stuff. All in just 12 letters. They've got a video. What's this one? Buttsville? What?
My baby works it out.
Oh, it's got music, man. I ain't playing around, dude. I ain't playing around with this. I'm so sorry, man. They'll get me. They will get me, dude. Big tech, they'll be like, oh, we've been trying to figure out a way. Jeremiah's really good at manipulating everything and making sure that he's kind of on the cutting edge, like maybe blowing over it at a bazillion miles an hour, but he does it in this really cute and charming, funny way. It's really hard to censor him too much. But then they hear a song and they're like, oh, ha, 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 ha. Copyright infringement. I'm like, no. So I don't want to play around with that. I don't know. I don't want to do this copyright thing, guys. I'm real sorry. You have to go watch that video. You got to watch it. Oh, and there is a Buttsville in New Jersey. Yeah, welcome to Buttsville, a tiny unincorporated township in northwestern New Jersey that aligns with the state's stench-tastic derogatory nickname, the Armpit of America. I lived there, guys. I can attest to this. It is the Armpit of America. It just is. It just is. It's gross, dude. It's gross. And you think you can get around stuff. You know, you think, well, I'll go to different cities. Maybe it's better. Maybe it's better over here. Maybe they've got nice suburbs and stuff, nice rural areas and everything. And they swear up and down they've got great beaches. We know better than that. Oh, Buttsville only has 150 people. Imagine that. Hump tulips? Humptalips? Oh, no. In Washington. Oh, no. Oh, this is 25 miles north of Aberdeen. Yeah, it's Kurt Cobain's hometown. Yeah. This tiny burg was, like much of Western Washington, once a major logging hub. In fact, the term Skid Row, comes from a well-worn pathway down which woodsmen would slide felled trees in the hilly city of Seattle. Did you guys know that? Did you know that? I probably read that somewhere. You know, I'm like a treasure trove of like really obscure insights into the world. Oh, I am, man. I'm this, huge amounts, huge repository, right? Here in my mind of all of these meaningless things, or things that are not meaningless, but it's like easy in, easy out type stuff. It's easy to forget. It's one of those rare, ridiculously named places whose origin story is funny as its current designation. Apparently, it derives from a local Native American word meaning, not kidding, hard to pull. The phrase that's some innuendo, dude. I'm sorry, guys. We try not to. This is like a family-friendly show. We really try hard to make sure that anybody can watch. You know, sometimes, they sneak in these weird things like this. It's at least innuendo. The phrase refers to the indigenous people's difficulty in navigating a nearby river of the same name. Okay, I gotcha. Number 5, Boogertown, North Carolina. Dude, again, what's the weirdest name of a city that you've ever been to? I've never been to Boogertown or Buttsville. I've never been to Swastika. Never been there. I did date a girl who lived in North Pole, Alaska. That was very strange. I think she actually lived on Candy Cane Lane. And when I would write her letters, you got to write to Candy Cane Lane in North Pole, Alaska, to your girlfriend who is super hot. And I'm like, what? Oh, dude, what is going on, man? It was weird, dude. It was weird. And you bring it to the mail, because back then, you didn't have, the internet and stuff. So you bring it to the mail, you bring it to the post office, and the people are looking at you like, I don't think this is a real place. And you're like, no, it really is. I promise. Just like Boogerville. Let's see. Just like Knock 'em Stiff, its name also derives from illicit moonshine making operations. Oh, that's okay. So Knock 'em Stiff and Boogerville. Well, why would that I guess I don't understand that. Okay, right here. Yeah. Unlike Knock 'em Stiff, however, Gaston County's moonshiners were concerned not with bringing in customers, but keeping other people's noses out of their business. So to deter would-be visitors, they invented a telltale monster, a boogeyman, who preyed on outsiders traveling through the area. Did it work? Blue Ball, Pennsylvania. Yeah, there's an old joke about that, isn't there? Isn't there between, Blue Ball and Ecstasy? Trying to remember. I think it's Intercourse. I think, isn't there a city called Intercourse? And that's between Blue Ball and Ecstasy. Like, it's a silly joke. It's, lowbrow. I think my dad told me that. I grew up on some weird jokes, man. My dad, I love him, man. But come on, man. In the late 1700s, I'm throwing my dad under the bus. He's going to be like, dude, why'd you do that? I thought that was our secret joke. Proprietor John Wallace constructed a humble building in what was then Earltown, and converted the space into an inn. In an ingenious act of 18th century marketing, Wallace hung a blue ball from a post outside the building to differentiate it from potential competitors, and called the distinguishing decoration the sign of the blue ball. I'm not even going to go into any more of that. We're skipping right over it, guys. I am so sorry. I can't do it, man. Because they're saying, oh, the sign of it. I'm like, there's a lot of signs. There's a lot of signs, man. You got to do the cold showers. In fact, and although, to be fair, I have actually heard that, first I heard cold showers were not true. And then I heard that the whole, blue down there thing is just not true. I'm like, I don't know. I think it is. Nothing, Arizona, and no name Colorado. Okay, so this place, these people share it. Nothing, Arizona. What's up with that? Let's see here. Let's start with nothing, which today is literally nothing. Oh, great. What's there? There's a place out west. What is it called? Oh my gosh, man. It's not Salt Lake. Is it Salt Sea? No. Oh my gosh. Is it Salt Plains? Anyway, there's a city that's like it's kind of like a ghost town, except that there still are some people who are there. It's wildly toxic though. I mean, it was kind of a, I guess the water. Oh, was it the Colorado River? Trying to remember, man. It ended up, it ended up draining, and the flooding from that ended up making this man-made lake, and it was really popular for a while. There were people they'd come in, and they were bringing in yachts and boats and speedboats and all this stuff, and they had fancy places all around. It's kind of at the era of the silver screen. A lot of black and white TV still, and the black and white photos and actors and stuff. And at that turn where things started to go a little color and everything, and they would all go there, and it started to, after a while, the heat, it ended up evaporating, and people started to no longer go. There became problems, and now there's just like all these really gross buildings, man, that are just totally dilapidated, but they're gorgeous though. I mean, like on the outside, I mean, some of this stuff is just absolutely stunning. And you can see where it used to be amazing, and now it's messed up. And they've got people that, these really artsy hippie types that live there. And actually some Jesus people, like some dystopian Jesus people who live there. Yeah. That's crazy. Let's see here. The antithesis of prime real estate, the settlement lies 100 miles northwest of a bustling city of Phoenix and about 20 miles south of Wikiup, known as the rattlesnake capital of Arizona. Oh, great. Which is about as comforting as being called a rabid raccoon mecca. Dude, this person right here at Listverse is obviously watching the show. Rabid raccoon mecca? Rattlesnake capital? Dude, I need to connect with this guy. I think he knows more than what he's letting on. And we're going to have to pick his brain and say, what do you know, buddy? What do you know about the uprising? Are these hot spots? Or like Churchill, Canada, a place where 1,000 flesh-eating polar bears roam the street. What? Churchill, Canada? I've never heard of this place. 1,000? What? This guy's lying. He's got to be lying, dude. Tell me in the comments, is this guy serious or what? Oh my gosh, dude. Oh my gosh, yes. Yeah, their population right now is 0. Okay. And so, in No Name, Colorado, not sure from the cult classic. Oh, but like not sure from the cult classic and current American reality, Idiocracy, it was basically a misunderstanding compounded with a clerical error. What? When the state sent out questionnaires to the hamlet's inhabitants, which number barely more than 100, the majority wrote no name in the section labeled name of town. Oh, dude, okay, I got it. Okay. The state took them at their word and officially recorded no name into the records. Oh, man. That is the managerial state, boys and girls. Yeah, that is the managerial state. There's some dumb stuff going on there. There's some El Stupido going on over in Colorado. Oh, yeah, Colorado. We knew that. There's a lot of dumb going on over there right now. I don't understand that, by the way. How did it get to that place, man? Was it just the weed? Can we really only blame the weed? Truth or Consequences, New Mexico is number 2. Okay. Yeah, they call it T or C for short. It already had a terrific name that spoke to its distinctive appeal, and from a tourist perspective, its destination-worthy allure. Okay, so it was incorporated as Hot Springs. So wait a second. So they changed it from Hot Springs to Truth or Consequence. Why would they do that? Well, I don't understand. Hot Springs sounds kind of dope. Oh, and they've got 40 natural hot spring spas. By the way, have you guys been to a hot spring before? Unbelievable. Dude, unbelievable. Love it. Kind of scared of the big holes, though. Like, you wonder, when am I going down, dude? Is it going to suck me in? What kind of animal, what kind of crazy creature from the center of the earth is going to come out and get me? Yeah, I wondered about that. I also wondered about, Jaws coming out of, the different parts, the deep end of swimming pools, stuff like that, the drain. So I was kind of afraid of stuff that's pretty dumb as a kid. I don't know. Maybe it's real. Maybe it's real. We've seen crazier things, right? Crazier stuff. But why did they do it? Oh, here's why. Okay. Because in 1950, a radio quiz show called Truth or Consequences said it would air a show from the first town that renamed itself after the program. Guys, we're doing it right now. The first town to name itself Paleocrat Diaries, we will go ahead and we will air a show from that town. I promise right now we will do it. Money down, right? You can keep me at my word. If you actually get your little town, we got to target these towns of like, I don't know, 20, 30 people and say, if you get that town, cuz I got way more listeners on the daily, man, than they have citizens. So I mean, obviously this is a big deal for them. Oh. Yeah, you name it, Paleocrat Diaries, we will air a live show from your town. I promise. Despite having a moniker perfectly befitting its best quality, Hot Springs leapt at the chance. That's pretty stupid. Oh, number one. Okay, so I was wondering how swastika wasn't. I mean, swastika I think still should have been number 2. You know what I mean? But Satan's Kingdom in Massachusetts? Satan's Kingdom, what? Dude, would you move there? By the way, what's the appeal? You're like, oh, this looks like a nice house, honey. She's like, oh, where is it? You're like, oh, it's over in Satan's Kingdom. Okay, that sounds good. Hey, where are you raising your kids? Oh, Satan's Kingdom. Where do you go to church? Satan's Kingdom. Dude, it's just, it writes its own punchline. You can't make this stuff up. Oh, man. Yeah, where's this again? Massachusetts? Yeah, maybe. Oh, there are multiple different origin stories. Okay. It apparently goes all the way back to 1670s. People are like, they chalk it up, I guess, to, first Indian War. The violence pitted indigenous tribes against English settlers. Okay. But the war doesn't get its name. I guess it doesn't. Satan's Kingdom does not, in fact, get its name from that. Yeah, historians have concluded. The local historian, right? Jim Bob over in the trailer park. He's got a stack of papers. He's like, I printed it out from the internet. I think I got it nailed down, boys. That's not even how people in Massachusetts talk. Maybe though in Satan's Kingdom, or they just have the thickest accent from Massachusetts. Like they got the ones that are really annoying, the ones that really bother you when you hear it. And you're like, I love you guys, but dude, tone it down. Why don't you have that, Midwestern accent, which means you don't have an accent. Oh, believe me, by the way, if people in the Midwest, like Michigan, they're like, oh, we don't have accents, and they think everybody else does, try traveling sometime to places like, Canada or whatever. When I was in Vancouver, I would talk to people, and they would laugh all the time, because the way that we say certain words that have an O, because they'll say, O, like Ohio. And you're like, oh, ew, that sounds gross. And they're like, well, what do you call it? You're like, Ohio. And they're like, it sounds a little bit like that. I'm like, yeah, or Chicago. That sounds right? So like if it's at the end, but the O, if they do that, that's gross. But it would be words where the O is not at the end. So words like, for example, mom or God. They say God. God. And I'm like, God? And they're like, no. Yeah. People in Michigan talk like, God, mom, dollar, hockey. It's hilarious, man. It is hilarious. But how did they get this, by the way? In the 1830s, New England was experiencing a feverish religious revival. In the adjacent town of Northfield, a preacher was giving a particularly spirited sermon, leaning heavily on the fire and brimstone. I miss that stuff, by the way. I don't agree with Billy Graham too often, right? But he said some pretty smart things when he said, you know, there used to be hell from the pulpit and heaven in the home. Now there's heaven from the pulpit and hell in the home. I think he was right about that. It's obviously a bumper sticker version of an otherwise deep and nuanced truth, but it suffices. So I miss the fire and brimstone permeating the day's ecumenical lecturing. Upon exiting the service, churchgoers were aghast at a huge forest fire raging in a sparsely populated tract directly across the Connecticut River. Remarking on the conflagration, a worshiper is said to have remarked, perhaps tongue-in-cheek, that, quote, the good parson's prayer was being answered. Satan's kingdom was on fire. Okay. All right, man. Well, hey, look, if you guys have hilarious videos, if you have hilarious stories or memes or anything like that, and you would like to share them with the show, you can do so. You can do so by sending it. Actually, let's get back to this main banner here. We're going to do this. We're going to do it. Hold on. Can we do? Yeah, we'll go. Okay, we'll go back to the main banner. Why not? Why not? We'll go back to that. Yeah, you can send it to paleocratdiaries@gmail.com. And of course, you can send those if you're following me on Facebook. And I encourage you to do it. I know I talk mad crap about Zuckerberg and them. But the truth is, you know, I got a lot of friends on there. And this show is getting bigger and bigger. Although it was hilarious, man. I talked to my cousin, and he's like, what? He's like, you're doing stuff? I'm like, bro, what? He goes, well, I saw you have like a Facebook Live video or something. I'm thinking, bro, I'm all over the place. There's like 20 different channels airing this program live at the exact same time on a network with a whole bunch of other shows, dude. Oh, man, let me down, homie. Letting me down. So you can watch it on, you know, YouTube or Facebook. You can watch it on Periscope. You can watch it on Twitch and on DLive, all over the place. And, of course, paleocratdiaries.com. You can check that out. It's a whole bunch of fun. Before we move to the serious news, because it's top of the hour. So I'm going to go ahead and see some of these comments here. Let's see. In the comments, Ailey, okay, she's on the ball. She is the queen diva here at Team Paleocrat. She's my mega hot half Korean wife. Loving that girl. Crazy. Well, at least we know not to go to Churchill, Canada. Yeah, because, I don't know, the bloodthirsty polar bears? Maybe that's why the polar bear that didn't make it across because he didn't have his paddle, maybe that's why he's so sad. He's trying to get to Churchill, Canada. That's what it's about. And he's not eating, not because there's no food. That's fake news. He's not eating because the truth is he's bloodthirsty for stuff that you can only find in Churchill. And Brian says, yes, Churchill, Canada is true. What? It was better, man, when I thought I was just joking. James in the comments. I know you, James. Yeah, buddy. It's good to see you. Has Michigan and Wisconsin been decided yet? I'm working and can't watch. I don't know. I don't know. I personally believe it should have been called last night. And not because we shouldn't count votes, okay? Not because we shouldn't count them, but because of what people do with votes in every other state. In fact, you could see a pattern. If Biden was winning, and in a state that was predicted to go to Biden, and if he was up by a certain margin, and there were only a number of counties left, and these counties had gone deep blue before, then they would call it, even if all the votes weren't counted yet. In fact, that's normal. Were there any places last night that they didn't call the winner of the state until every last single vote was counted? You get to a point where you don't even have to. There will be people who will not have their votes counted by. Like, you can sit there and say, well, they will, but not effectually before a winner is decided. What if one of the candidates is winning by, let's say, 1 million votes, right? Let's say, or let's make it more realistic. Let's say 75,000. And let's say that the only places left to count come up to 74,000. Are you going to wait until each one of these are counted? No way. That just is not going to happen. And so I think last night, I think we saw a consistent, predictable pattern. In fact, I predicted this for quite a while. Anyone who watches this show on the daily knows what we were talking about, and that we were not even paying a lot of attention to what would be done the day of the election, and that we said that it could stretch itself out for a while, and that we were more concerned, in fact, with what was going to happen the day after. So no, I don't know. And I can't watch either, man. I can't watch either. Part of it's because I can't stomach it. Right? I can't stomach the people talking about it in the game that they play. Oh, it's we can't decide yet. And you're like, no, you can actually. But they have to keep you tuned in. Their whole business model, which is how they're able to do anything in their own, personal lives and private lives, they're completely beholden to this model. Their whole identity is wrapped up in this. They are effectually a plastic person, a brand. Okay? The things that they can do and not do and say and not say are largely dictated by the brand. And so these people get on and they need you. They need you to keep watching. And so it would have been really boring. In fact, if the media would have been honest last night, it would have been really boring. People would have been like, well, we could have told that by just watching all the dumb rallies and say, and by dumb rallies, I mean the ones with the circles on the ground where there was like 20 people and like 10 cars honking with a guy who's screaming into a mic and can't put together sentences. It was pretty bad, bro. It was pretty bad. So, all right, we are moving on. Serious business time. Okay, serious business time. But, in order to do that, we got to fill up. So get your coffee, get your tea, whatever you're drinking, doesn't matter. Maybe it's the Fiji, right? Maybe it's that maybe it's that water. Maybe it's that water. You got to raise it super duper high, man. High to the sky. Because why? Because as we say every day, today is the day that the Lord has made, and no matter what happens, no matter what, we are going to rejoice and be glad in it, especially if it's hard. Because we're working. This is a show for Johnny Q and Sally Sue. This is a small program. This is tight-knit. We are a wolf pack, okay? We are here together, in this together, fighting tooth and nail with everything we got, pedal to the metal, high-octane life, every single day, making sure that we use the gifts and talents that God gave us to the best of our ability as long as we possibly can, as long as we have the honor of breathing yet another breath. So we refuse to ever give up. These are the mottos, right? This is the mantra. Never give up. Keep on smiling. And memento mori, which is simply remember death. Keep death before our eyes because we aren't promised another day, and in fact, not even another second. And we need to keep that in our mind all the time so that we can make sure that with each and every action, each and every thought, each and every breath that we've got, every interaction that we have in this world, whether at work or family or church, it doesn't matter, that we make the best use of it that we can. And this is part of my contribution to that. So raise it high, guys. Raise it high to the sky. It doesn't matter. It might be a burger. Might be a taco. Might be a quesadilla. Might be one of those. Raise it high because we're going to do the old wolf pack. And you know what? I liked this so much yesterday. Oh, no. Hold on. Were we able to do that? Hold on. Oh, okay. I'll have to do it with this. One. Okay. Here we go. We're going to switch it over, guys. We are going to switch this bad boy over because I was so excited about this yesterday. This little guy dancing to the Wolfpack song. We got to play. We got to jam out. And remember, if you have a video of either yourself raising it high, right, pounding it down through a straw straight to the dome, or you've got videos of yourself or kids dancing around and howling, right, watching the show. I got a picture last night of a guy who was sitting down watching the show while keeping up with election news and stuff like that. If you've got that, you send it to me, and we will play it here on the show. So right here, we're going to give a big shout out to Cherie and Brian, right, to their amazing children. We love them. We love them big time. And we paid attention. It's easy to pay attention to the boy. You got to see the girl, man. That girl, she's jamming at the end. She is jamming at the end. And it is awesome, man. She's got that cup raised high, and you can see him howling. So let's get ready, you guys. We got to howl at the sun. Let the world know that we're alive. And here we go. Let's see here. Oh, no. Hold on a second. Sorry about that. Got it. I was at the wrong one. I did that yesterday, too. Here we go. Boom. Yeah. Come on. Get this guy dancing. Let's go. Come on. Boom. Yeah, boy. Dance good, buddy. Woo. Straight to the dome. Here we go, kids. Give it all you got. Today's the day the Lord has made. High octane. Woo. Don't get down. Yeah. Woo. Boom. Ow. I love you guys. Oh my gosh, man. I love you guys. I love this show, man. It's a way to wake up every single day. Look at that little dude. He is alive and awake. Oh, yeah. Look at that face. We got to stop it right there. No. Boom. Okay. Ow. Howling to that little boy, man. Howling to that little boy. All right. Now, we're going to get serious. Before we do, let's get some of these comments real quick. Oh, man. Okay. Let's see. Let's see here. Good morning, Mr. Bannister. Oh, good morning to you, Kimberly, in Michigan. Battle Creek, in fact. Yeah. Well, wait a second. Yeah. Barbara Farley said, no, not Wisconsin. Oh, okay. Oh, I thought you were talking about what she said earlier. No, okay. So they're saying that Wisconsin and Michigan. Thanks, guys, by the way, about that. Bethany says, James Hawley Jr., nope, it is a mess. And there's probably, I think, the two main places for comments if you want to join with that. And I encourage you, talk to each other, man. Get to know each other, right? Even if you disagree, maybe especially if you guys disagree, because the truth is, no matter how this pans out, there's going to be a future that goes on beyond this election. Okay, that the world is bigger than what's going on in our brain. Our brain can shut down. Our heart can shut down. We can die. But the thing is, the world outside of us shall continue on. It keeps on trudging along. I'm helping to make sure that happens. Got a bunch of babies, man. Got a bunch of babies. Cranking them buggers out. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying. Cranking them buggers out. Oh, I love my wife, man. Optimism is cowardice, said Oswald Spengler. The Trump administration's real value was not in what it did or didn't do, but in removing illusions. We now see the MSM, the deep state, and big tech for what they are. I agree with this. I agree with this, by the way. I believe, I remember I didn't have a good word for this. I didn't really know how to describe this. And when people were asking me back in 2016, they're like, how in the world could you have voted for Donald Trump? And people asked me for the 4 years in between. And I said a lot of this. I said, and I have my reasons. I have policy positions that I say these are values and moral foundations that I have. And I believe he reflects that. In fact, he reflects those things on those particular issues more than any other candidate that has ever existed. And that includes Pat Buchanan. And I said the reason for that is because unlike Pat Buchanan is a man of steel resolve. There's no doubt about that. But at the same time, I don't believe that Pat Buchanan would have that same kind of disposition and posture toward the entire system that Donald Trump has. And so my take on that is, I said I can list off a whole host of things that Donald Trump supports and believes in that I've identified with for a very long time and for very good and sound reasons. But his posture, I said his posture, and that was the best. I didn't know what else to say. His posture, the way that he faces these groups, the way he faces the mainstream media, the deep state. And by that, we're talking the managerial state. We're talking the big bureaucracy. We're talking this idea, this Leviathan that has grown and grown and grown over the years. And that it's almost impossible to slow it down. And that we've struggled, and that it feels as though it has a power entirely of its own. And that they'll do whatever they want. That they don't care anymore. And this is at the core. This is at the core of the idea that we say there's two kinds of justice in the world. One for the rich and the powerful, and one for the Johnny Q and Sally Sue on Main Street in flyover country. It's totally true. And not just flyover country, but like definitely not. Add the cities to this. Add the cities to this. It is a class problem. It is an issue that says the rich and the powerful live by a certain way. And it's been seemingly impossible to even put a real light on that sticks. And not just a light that sticks, but that makes them scatter, that scares them, that puts them on watch 24/7 because they are resilient. Think of how resilient mainstream media really is. They don't care about you. They don't care about me. They don't care, about Brother Bob and Sister Susan over at church. They don't care. They don't know their name. They don't know their name necessarily, right? They may store information about them, but they're just a number for now. Unless they become a threat, then they have access to a whole bunch of information. But they don't care. They just keep going on. They protect all their friends. They lie. And they lie in such a way. Do you guys remember Yellow Cake? Do you remember that? Do you remember all of the liars that went up and talked us into wars, and we found out later it was a big, fat fraud? Do you remember that? Who could stop that, by the way? Who has stopped that? There was wars all the time. In fact, I've been an anti-war guy for many years. And, I don't, that's an easy thing to get wrapped up in with people. They're like, well, you're anti-war. Like, I have some friends who are anti-war, and they're like, I'm already against the next war. I don't take that position. I take a position of just war. I'm a realist, right? My geopolitics. And so the way that we interact with other countries and stuff. But man, I remember going to protests all the time during George W. Bush, to protest all the time with Barack Obama. And it seems like so many of these people, it just vanished. Remember New York? Do you remember that? Do you remember the big globe? And they were people flooding the streets. And there was this huge, huge planet Earth, man, they're carrying around. It was just, we're talking massive. All across the country. Where did they go? Where are they? Where are the articles about this? And why are so many of those people now, and this is weird, guys. I really want you to just be honest about this. Why is it that the same people who did that and were against the deep state, and they were against the military-industrial complex, and they were against the war machine and the neocons, why is it now that they're retweeting David Frum? Why is it now that any of these Strzok and Page and Comey and Tapper, or Clapper and Tapper, right? All these guys are warmongers. And now those are like the people, and the arguments that they use, it's no longer bring the boys and girls home. Instead, it's if we leave, it's going to create a vacuum. Dude, that is exactly the arguments that warmongers and neocons were using the entire time. It was insane. It was a lie. It's all on record, but they get away with it. They can lie about spying on us. They can lie repeatedly. We all know it. And what do? They get jobs at CNN. We all, deep in our hearts, we know. And we complain. I finally sat there and said, this guy, imperfect as he is willing to take that on and say, dude, you know what? I'm going to flash a light on you, and you will try to run, and you will try to hide, and we will not stop. And people who take that position have broken through in an historic manner. That now every single day it is on like Donkey Kong. Dangerous, by the way. It's super dangerous. In the comments, this is another dangerous thing. Yeah, Antifa are commie scum. Dude, I'm glad to see you. It's been a minute. I was wondering about you, man. I was wondering about you. Said more votes in Wisconsin than registered voters. Dude. We all knew it, man. We all knew this kind of crap was coming. Yes. Natalie Romero. Oh my G. I don't know what that's about. What is that about? You got to give me more than that, Natalie. I like that name, by the way. Democrat big tech and media actions to steal the election. Here's what's going on in Georgia and North Carolina. We're going to break down each state, okay? And by the way, I was watching this last night. What shows were you guys watching? You know, I tried watching War Room with Steve Bannon, but I felt like I was watching ESPN, dude. Like a really messed up version of that. Where they're just, okay, we're bringing this person in right now to talk about the stats. Give me what you got, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, dude, I don't listen to sports talk. I hate that model, by the way. Blah, 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 blah. And they bring in this person, and they're like, totally all speculation. Like, they had a lady on. You know, I'm very grateful for her efforts. She's an activist. She's worked really hard to get, grassroots activism, to get people to the polls and everything else. Okay, really glad about that. But they're like, what's your feeling about tonight? What's your feeling? Well, I'm very excited. The people that I talked to, turn the channel. That is irrelevant, man. The people I talked to. So what, man? So what? Super dupe anecdotal. Super dupe. It means nothing. It's like somebody saying, man, dude, an alcoholic going, there's somebody who spends the majority of their time, let's say, at a bar. And they're like, dude, I'm telling you, it seems like everybody's just drunk all the time. People that I hang out with. You're like, what? It's because you're in a bar all the time. If you are an activist and you're there all the time and you're around people that are in your political and cultural and social circle, you're going to walk away being like, dude, it's really exciting. If we based it off of that, man, I bet the American Solidarity Party was really pumped up. How did they do, by the way? How did American Solidarity Party do? I predicted that Captain Neckbeard would not break the threshold. What did I say? What did I say? 10,000 votes? That he wouldn't break the threshold of 10,000? I don't know. I don't remember offhand what I said. Captain Neckbeard. You got to see him, man. I'm like, dude, nobody's voting for this guy. Nobody's voting for this guy. It's super duper LARPing. When I'm president, it's like, dude, you are not going to be president any more than that 500-pound guy in the Venom costume is going to be the next guy cast on, a Marvel movie. I'm sorry to tell you. It's not going to happen, bro. Not going to happen. Late night President Trump was ahead in both Georgia and North Carolina, and the election officials there decided to stop counting and go home. To go home. This was strange. To our knowledge, never before in U.S. history has a state just decided to go home. Yeah. In North Carolina, is this both for North Carolina and for, Georgia and North Carolina? Okay. Let's see. North Carolina. As of this morning, President Trump is up. Now, this may be old. Let me know. This has been the case since last night. Why they stopped counting in North Carolina early last night is unknown. In Georgia, President Trump had the lead. He was up. In fact, decent amount. And right here, with 94% reporting, again, it's unlikely that this win for Trump could be overturned. I like that they qualify that as unlikely. It could happen. It could happen. But this kind of thing, right? I agree with this. The results should have been completed hours ago. This is last night. Of course, this is ripe for fraud. And of course, the entire mail-in ballot scenario put in place in these states in 2020 is ripe for fraud as well. It's true. Democrat, big tech, and media actions to steal the election. Here's what's going on in Pennsylvania and Michigan. Let's see. Fix is in. Here's what's going on. In Pennsylvania, as of this morning, President Trump is up in Pennsylvania by a very sizable lead. Like 700,000. With 64% of the votes counted. It's difficult to imagine any scenario where Biden could catch Trump in this state. Again, it's difficult to imagine a scenario where that happens. Could it? It would be very surprising. It would be like, wow, how did they pull that one out of the magic hat? For some unknown reason, Pennsylvania decided to stop counting ballots last night and sleep in and continue their counts today. They just took a nap. They just took a nap. Because that's normal. You know, I'm sick and tired of hearing this from people who are like, oh, don't normalize this. This isn't normal. And yet everything they're doing is really abnormal. Everything. Bizarro world. It's that doublespeak crap. On the one hand, don't normalize this. And on the other hand, the new normal. They want their cake and they're eating it too. And then they'll get mad at you for pointing it out. And you're like, dude, it's an age-old proverbial truth. Age-old. How about Arizona? Fix is in last night. President Trump was behind all night in Arizona. This was strange. Because respected pollsters and the Trump team believed Arizona was in the Trump corner for some time. But then suddenly, with 25% of the vote remaining to be counted, Fox News called Arizona for VP Biden. This was the first state to flip from 2016, and as of this morning, still is. By the way, I think Tucker said he doesn't even know how that happened. He doesn't know. Oh, yeah, right here, Tucker Carlson. I'm not certain how that decision was made. No, I don't think anybody is. I don't think anyone is. For some other reason, Arizona decided to stop counting ballots last night and sleep in and continue their counts today. Yeah. Unbelievable. What about Wisconsin? Yeah, what's going on with Wisconsin? Same thing. Last night, President Trump was ahead all night. But the vote counters slowly continued counting and then stopped once VP Biden took the lead. Currently, Fox News shows VP Biden up by 11,000 votes with 5% of the votes remaining. But here's the thing about that. Look at the county breakdown. Look at the counties that are left. One county, Brown County, where the president is ahead by 14,000 votes, is only 50% of the votes counted. Why was this stopped? The other three remaining counties to count are all counties where President Trump is in the lead. Unbelievable. It's gotten so bad that you had people, even Steve Bannon called for U.S. Marshals to arrest Jack Dorsey, CEO over at Twitter. President Trump told his supporters, we're up big, but they're trying to steal the election. We'll never let them do it. And of course, they put it here, somewhere all of this content shared in this tweet is disputed. So what? Who cares, by the way? Who cares if it's disputed? What isn't disputed? I'm serious. What in the heck is not disputed. Gravity is disputed. People dispute that. They disagree. They put their arguments together. You're always going to have somebody who disagrees with something. Always. It's disputed. And it might be misleading about an election or other civic process. Oh, it might be. So we're going to censor it. Oh, and then they put underneath learn about U.S. 2020 election security efforts. And look, by the way, bravo to a lot of the security experts, right? You had a lot of police, in fact, that were taking the ballots, bringing them from one place to the next. People could dispute that that's secure, though. They could say, look, these are people that are wicked bad. I mean, if they're the kind of people that the left believes are, bloodthirsty for black people to die, right? And they sit there and go, every day, every black person leaving their house is super duper afraid because those cops are wanting to go around and shoot people because the color of their skin. If they believe that, and that's like as vast as they say it is, why would they think that that is a safe way to secure ballots? Makes no sense. Again, major time cognitive dissonance. Major time. It's amazing. It's amazing, by the way, how many people are able to survive and in fact thrive and in fact flourish when their brain is just riddled with cognitive dissonance. Yeah, Steve Bannon called for the arrest of Jack Dorsey because, and look, it wasn't just him. I saw Ali Alexander, same thing, man. He normally has thousands of retweets. And on election night, you're going to have a lot of people watching your stuff. Lots and lots. And lo and behold, what happened? He puts out there, he says he believes that Trump was going to win Georgia and Florida. In fact, he called Florida hours before other people. And he has a model as to why he came to that conclusion. He put together a polling model based on data and made it available. You can go and get it. And so it's like, I think 14 pages, this model he's talking about and breaking it down and everything else. And so he goes ahead and he uses his model to talk about this. And they end up consigning his tweet, again, to stuff that's hidden behind some or all content shared in this tweet. And making it so that you couldn't even see it. You had to click on that. There was something that was saying like it was hiding it. You had to click on it to see what the post was. And it was being throttled big time, shared by like 200 people instead of the thousands and thousands that his posts ordinarily get. Obvious throttling, man. Obvious throttling. Let's see here. Comment section. Says, I was listening to Crowder. He had 500,000 at a certain point. Then Big Brother shut him down. Then he got it back again. Again, look at that. And James, good to see you, buddy. Shirley, back at the hospital with Kathy again. Oh, dude. Let us know in the comments section. Let us know like where it is and kind of what's going on and stuff like that. Remember, we keep Kathy in our prayers. We're a wolf pack. We pray. Obviously, we pray every day. We pray for the world. We pray for the president. We pray for the leaders. We pray for our churches. We pray for our children. We pray for everything. But we always want to make sure if a member of the wolf pack is hurting, if a member of the wolf pack is in need of our lifting them up to the Lord, we do that. Okay. In fact, I shared a video yesterday of that, even with a picture of how grateful she was, and you can find that over at facebook.com/Jeremiah.Bannister. But let us know. Okay. James says, on my ballot for my county, I only had a Dem as an option for the sheriff. So I wrote in Jesus Christ. Yes. Yeah. CF says, church militant. Pretty infuriating they would give points to Biden without explaining where they came from. Yeah. Kathy says, I'll be fine. Please don't worry. I'll keep you all posted. We love you. Ow! We love you, girl. We love you. You keep rocking that. We keep rocking this. We promise. Tira and Slash, is Fox News now fake news? Fox News, okay, guys, let me just explain this real quick, okay? When I use the phrase mainstream media, I include Fox News. Fox News is not, part of Fox News' brand is that it's not mainstream media. And yet, by the numbers, and by the influence and impact, it is definitely mainstream. And in fact, it's mainstream insofar as it's connected to establishments and insofar as it's connected to power. Think of all of the direct connects to power that they have. Think of it. And think of the weirdness that's been going on for a long time with anti-Trump crap going on there, right? And people are confused by that. I'm not confused by that. I'm not confused that basically you have this anti-Trump bent to that place, in part because if you remember, Donald Trump is not really much of a Republican. He's kind of a JFK Democrat, to be honest. You know, and I view myself that way. I say, yeah, I'm of the mold, right, in history that would traditionally have been with Democrats. You know? And so I go, look, he's a populist. The guy believes in economic nationalism. Republicans have, by and large, given up on that. They gave up on it. They became this laissez-faire crap. Free trade crap. Although, in fairness, it's not really laissez-faire. We use that in rhetoric and stuff and everything. I understand that. But at the same time, it's true. I mean, you can't have that many regulations to a free trade deal and call it free trade. Or laissez-faire. And so I understand, I'll respect the argument made by classical liberals on that particular point. But you look and you say, they were neocons. They'd been completely absorbed by the military-industrial complex, by the Israel lobby. They'd been completely absorbed by this, okay? And those people were in power. Those people held the throttles. It's why it's why even the Tea Party, as big of a deal as it was in the grassroots, it's why the establishment really had a problem with it. Really had a problem with it. And a lot of the people over Fox News, heavily influenced, in fact, by the political philosophy known as neoconservatism, and they took it personal. Deep down inside, it had to irk them badly when Donald Trump ran, and Donald Trump was talking about fair reciprocal trade, tariffs, non-interventionism, opposing the military-industrial complex, opposing lobbyists, opposing the managerial deep state, opposing all of this, and threatening later to even reveal things that the CFI would rather keep secret. And it's why big-time Republicans, including the Bush family, endorsed Joe Biden. It's why. That same mindset is rampant at Fox News. I don't even, except for Tucker Carlson, I don't even watch Sean Hannity. He's a grifter. He's totally a grifter. And yeah, Tucker seems to be the only voice. Yeah, I said that before I even heard it. Yes, Tucker is a good guy, by the way. Tucker's a good guy. There's a really cool video, man, where this dude's walking on a sidewalk and he sees a guy fishing and he's recording it, fly fishing. It's totally Tucker Carlson. And Tucker goes up and shows him all the flies. He makes them. He hand makes them himself. And just out there fishing. And the guy's like, are you allowed to be doing that? He said, yeah, actually the law allows you to do it here and in another place. It's a really cool video, and it kind of gives you a peek into somebody's life. He's all alone. There's no security detail. There's nobody around protecting him. He's just out there fly fishing. He's not wearing a mask, right? He's just out there fly fishing, talking to the guy. Let's see. Antifa Arcami scum, 138,000 votes, all for Biden. Mathematically impossible. Showed up in Detroit at 4:45 a.m. Again, look, Trump says at 4 o'clock. Lo and behold, guess what? Detroit leaks, by the way. Detroit leaks. We've been covering this. We are unsurprised. We are weeks ahead on all of this. People who watch this show, you are light years ahead of all this other stuff. You'll hear stuff from the media. You'll see stuff shared by your friends. And you're like, dude, I knew about this already. We've already gone into a deep dive analysis of that. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Let's see here. Okay, I was talking. Actually, let's go to a different. Let's go to a different. Let's see. Let's hope that this one works. Okay, is this one gonna work? Let's see. Make sure. Ah, good. Okay. I had issues yesterday with this one. I like this one, by the way. Oh no, my son said I gotta put the circle up at the top. Man. Okay. Maybe I can move it. Let's see if I can. Let's see if I can move this, man. Let's see. Well, or I'll just make sure. Okay, main banner news. Okay, we're gonna do this. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna see if we can do, not window capture. All right, we're gonna do image. Oh. Okay, yeah. All right, good. Now let's see if we can get this. What happens if I go up here? Oh, do. Okay. Do. Oh. In real time, guys, look at this. Look at that. It might not be perfectly centered. But that's okay. All right. So I'm up here in the top left corner. Okay. In the top left corner. So yeah, it says here, 2 arrests. Now they can't read the headline. We'll get it down. Oh no, still can't read it. Oh no. Okay. So 2 arrested in D.C. following Antifa mob attack. Man hit in the head with a baseball bat. Remember, I was talking to you guys yesterday saying that it did, the election night, of course it's important, and it will give us a basic idea for trends and the way things are looking, and it could have been at a place where just statistically it would be impossible, not just highly unlikely, but just impossible for the tides to turn. And I said that would be important. It would also be important determining whether or not the media would proclaim Biden a victor and what Biden's response to that would be. Like the vote counters, he was sleeping. Okay. But I said the real concern is what happens after dark. The real concern is not just what happens after dark, but also what happens following the election. In fact, beginning on the 4th. And in a matter of hours, you're going to see stuff, right? In fact, I shared at Paleocrat, Facebook.com/Paleocrat. I shared yesterday a number of things. My Twitter, I shared a bunch too. Okay. I didn't really care about live tweeting election results from CNN or New York Times or Fox News. Didn't care about that. I was caring to show everybody what is happening behind the scenes as all this is going on. What is happening behind the scenes in preparation for what we all know is bound to happen with the uprising. And in this case, let's see if we can get it down here. Okay. 2 protesters in D.C. have been arrested after a violent mob attack during which a man was hit in the head with a baseball bat. Shocking violence was captured on live stream. Let's see here. Okay, yeah, the video. I don't want to show you that video because there's a whole bunch, by the way. There's a whole bunch of these. We have some. In fact, I'll show you here in a minute. Prominent black conservative Bevelyn Beatty stabbed in the back. Multiple Proud Boys stabbed in D.C. You can see it here. Let's get it down there. In fact, let's see if we can zoom that up and we can scooch that bugger over. Okay. As you can see, man, look at this. Pro-Trump activist Bevelyn and multiple Proud Boys were stabbed in D.C. while attempting to help another person who was being assaulted. Proud Boys founder Enrique Tarrio tells Gateway Pundit that he was slashed in the stomach. Bevelyn was stabbed in the back, and multiple other members of the men's social group were stabbed and are now hospitalized with serious wounds. Although, Enrique says, not life-threatening. Either way, keep them in your prayers. You know, I want to show you this because people can accuse me of fear-mongering. They can say, look, man, you're just scaring everybody. No, I'm not scaring everybody. And let me remind everybody of this. As I show you what you're about to see, remember, this right here is 2016. This is 2016 in response. This was the day of the inauguration. And as I said on Twitter and on Facebook, if Trump wins, if and when Trump is declared the winner This right here is going to look like a game of tiddlywinks in Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. It's only going to get worse. It's only going to get more violent. Because they won't be able to handle that. Another 4 years, 8 years of their lives having to deal with this. Again, they're going to lose it. But watch, and just remember. Just remember.
Go another way. Go another way.
By the way, do you see that maniac right there in the middle? That Amazonian in the middle? She needs to have one of those nice jackets so she can hug herself and lock her into it. Lock her into it. Give her one of those Nerf rooms. Ah! Ah! Face melting! Ah! It's bad, guys. Think of the derangement of this woman. Think of how demonic this woman actually is. And this is at a Planned Parenthood rally? Baby murder does that to people. Baby murder does that to people. Oh, you are very grateful that you killed your baby. Oh, that's wonderful. It allowed you to live a life of luxury and freedom, and you will die. And you will have to face your maker. And the thing is, you're already having a taste of that because you support these things. You become a total demoniac. You become somebody who in somebody's face, and they're trying to go, by the way, to the inauguration. That's what this is. This is a public walkway.
Just trying to get through. Do not touch people.
Go around the block, sir. Go around the block. Go around the block, sir.
Yeah, see this? See this lady right here with the short hair that looks like a dude? Yeah, I hate this, by the way. These protesters, a lot of times they act like they're like officials that are, oh yeah, this is blocked off. You're going to need to go. And they're acting like, parents with children when they're trying to deflect what the child is doing. But it's this, this is an adult. And so it turns into this extremely demeaning thing. Oh, by the way, looks like this lady right here is a African-American Trump supporter.
They have no right to block people from across.
Okay. Oh, so sorry about that. Not. Just an old lady.
No, First Amendment doesn't give you the right to block people from crossing the street.
Yeah. These people, but remember, because this right here is what we're facing now. Okay. This right here is outside Trump Tower yesterday. In preparation for what they know, what they have intelligence on, what they know is at least the plan of people who are very, very angry. By the way, if you're online watching this, make sure to share it with your friends. Invite them to see this. They need to know. That's like war stuff, guys. Look at this. This is outside Trump Tower. Look at this. This is outside the White House. This is an what they call an unscalable fence. We'll see how that works. But let's see. Working overtime. Working overtime to ensure. Why? Because they're prepared. Because they know what's coming our way. So they're protecting it. From what? Oh, and for people who think, oh, what are you doing talking about, problems with the election? Oh, here's one. Here's one. Let's see what this lady's doing. Oh, look at this. Lots and lots of ballots. Lots and lots, man. Just keep dumping them in, lady. You're on camera. You are on camera. Is there no audio to that? I guess there's no audio to that one. I wonder why. Yeah, just keep dumping them in. Keep dumping them in. Over and over and over. You know, the thing is, there is evidence of this happening, and it was happening before. You know how many people were arrested or how many people were caught on camera talking about the way that they're manipulating votes? And look, maybe this has been going on for a long time. I'm willing to entertain that, but not at the same time as the narrative is, oh no, there's no such thing as this. Won't accept that. This happened yesterday in Washington, D.C., right outside, what was this, outside a place where they were doing ballots? Crazy chaos. We saw a video already of a polling place where people, Black Lives Matter activists and others, went to this polling center. Were trying to block people's entrance to get inside. How about this? Here's a member of the media, by the way. Here's a member of the media. And you got to excuse me if there's bad words on this. You got to forgive me. This is where we are right now. I can't shield everybody. But this is true. This is what's happening right now. What would you do if people are putting umbrellas behind you and they're surrounding you? What would you do? By the way, what is he doing, do you think? Having umbrellas behind the guy's head. What do you think he's doing? Is that an imposing thing? Again, these individuals, I had a friend of mine on Facebook that was like, you know, Antifa's not a big deal. Antifa's not a problem. And I said, look, their philosophy of violence is that they as individuals, many of them not very well educated, many of them having very little understanding of history or political philosophy or mass media theory or any of this. They get hot takes from the zines that these collectives pump out. Most of them are radical weirdos. That's just a fact, okay? It's a bummer to say. I wish it wasn't so, but it is. And they have these weird beliefs, utopian beliefs, which really the utopia is a dystopia. It's a dystopia. And on the one hand, and they're the double speak crap too. They are the messed up in the brain people. That on the one hand, they believe, you know, that they should be peaceful. Or not peaceful, but that they believe that we can get this world, completely peaceful, and we can micromanage all this stuff. And the way to do it is by donning a bunch of masks and determining in ourselves if, when, and to what extent we have the right and responsibility to lash out with political violence against people we disagree with. Think about that. Think about it.
Spread love, not war.
Spread love, not war. Okay, that sounds great. So what are they doing? Oh, they pushed him to the ground. Spread love, not war. Look how they surround him. Do you see that? Look at this. Look at homeboy here in the cap, right? Watch him. Watch him. Right in his face. Right up to his nose. Nose to nose. Sitting there pushing. Blah, blah. By the way, those are fighting. That right there, that's put up your dukes, homeboy. I'm going to clock you and knock you to the ground. You know why they feel they can do that? You know why? Because the political left has given them a completely blank check on this. Okay. Oh, I'm so sorry. Biden said, we can't do that stuff. Naughty, naughty, naughty. But he's not pushing. He's not pushing these cities to stop it. And honestly, would these people even care? They're essentially a gang. They're surrounded by other maniacs who are out for blood. They don't care, by the way, if you die. In fact, if they knew you were somebody who supported Donald Trump and you died, they not only wouldn't care, they would clap. Do you think they care that you're old? Do they think, do you believe that they care that you've got children, or that you've got a job, or that you're really a nice person, or that you have some black friends, or that you don't, you don't have any racist ideas and you wish that we could all just be colorblind like Martin Luther King Jr.? Do you think they care about that? They don't. They don't. In fact, they want you dead. They want you dead. Not just, that's why this philosophy has spread like a virus. It has spread like a virus on the left, which is why you can have individuals, high prominent individuals in the Democratic Party, people who've been involved in the past with other administrations, who can go on, or leaders, former CEOs of social media groups like Twitter, who can go on to social media and talk about lining up Trump supporters, shooting them down, bombing them like the psychiatrist lady over at Yale, right? Firebombing entire regions of people as a testament to the eradication of MAGA. Again, I'm sorry to scare the living daylights out of you, but this is true. Watch this. Look at this. What would you do, by the way? You're completely closed in. Oh, did you see that? Let's see this. Hold on. You see that bat? You see that bat? You see this little person down here? You see the arm? You see that person? Money down says that person might run away real quick. Oh, yeah, look. So there you go. Again, bats. I saw this firsthand. Not this. I saw firsthand. I saw somebody come out and a person, Antifa, BLM, come out and club people with a huge club in the back of the head, blood on the sidewalk. Seen it. Seen it. I've watched the violence. I have seen what they do. I've been monitoring and talking about this stuff for years of my life. And I ain't stopping, because they're not stopping. Today is when they begin. What's this one?
Walk away! Walk away!
Do you hear that? Walk away! Walk away! It's a member of the media. Do you see him? He's in his face like that? You can see it. This one is police breaking in a window, grabbing somebody out. This has gotten bad. Watch this.
Hey. Okay.
So stop there.
Okay.
Walk away or it gets worse. Walk away or it gets worse. Walk away or it gets worse. Walk away. Walk away or it gets worse. Take that.
Okay.
You hear this?
So
Walk
stop
away
there.
or
Okay.
it gets worse.
Walk away.
Walk away or it gets worse.
Walk away or it gets worse. Walk away or it gets worse. Walk away. Walk away or it gets worse. Take that away. Delete what you have. Be asked to
Delete
stop
what you
filming.
have.
Okay.
So stop there.
Okay.
Delete what you have. Delete what you have. Walk away or it gets worse. Delete what you have. Why? Because they are terrorists. By the way, don't you see? This is American ISIS, by the way. And people who support that, they don't understand that when we talk about ISIS or we talk about Al-Qaeda, there are people in those countries who support ISIS and Al-Qaeda. But they may not be members. They may not be participating in it, but around the dinner table, they're like, oh yeah, they're just freedom fighters. They just support what we, they support the idea of the caliphate. They're opposed to the militarism of the West. Whatever their rationale is, there's a lot of pumpkin pie baking grandmothers, bean pie making grandmothers over in these countries who aren't part in carrying around big weapons. But if you ask them, they'd be like, well, yeah, of course I defend ISIS. They're trying to fight against who I determine the bad guys. You know how many leftists I know personally who defend that, who defend these individuals. And by the way, you should learn the kind of training, the overlap of training that goes on between Antifa and terrorist organizations in the Middle East. You got to know. You've got to know. Barbara says Sunday Facebook posted an event schedule for 4:30, November 4th at the mall behind my house. What? They've scheduled protest rally today, posted Sunday. Yeah. Poor Bevelin. Yep, she's a warrior for pro-life. Totally true. And thank you for sharing the show. I'm very, very grateful. Zach says the news and social media CEOs suppress the info about the riots. Yes, dude. They not only made it so that you couldn't get this stuff out there. That's why you had to go to places like Telegram. You had to. You had to go to places like Telegram to be on the ball about it. Because was it Twitch or where was it, man, that they weren't even allowing it to be shared? And then on top of that, you had oh man, gosh, BitChute conveniently, some of their stuff was pulled and their website just gone. Now it came back, but it took a while. Oh, probably another one of those, glitches and stuff. Now here's another angle. I want you guys to see this because there's something important that you don't see in the angle where the guy's saying, get out of here, delete your stuff on your phone, all that. Watch this. So for one, somebody's back there recording this. Look at this. Do you see what I'm talking about? Look back there. You got a weird car here with some lights. So you got gangs walking the streets. Is that a security car? What is that? What is it? And why weren't they intervening in this? And this is what I want you to hear too. By the way, that's F Trump, F Biden. And that's why you need to understand that this is these people, by the way, are ideologically only shades different from the people that made the headlines talking about wanting to arrest and take down different governors and political leaders on the left and the right, that mainstream media framed as being a bunch of right-wing loon birds. That's what they called them, right-wing. These are right-wing lunatics that they were describing this way. But the truth is, these aren't right-wing lunatics. These are anarchist weirdos who sit there and believe that the entire thing's bad. The idea of a hierarchy is bad. The idea of a state itself is bad. That's what this is. Many of these people are foot soldiers, no doubt, for the Democratic Party. There's no doubt about that. But at the same time, you've got people here who, regardless of which way this goes, they want a war. Just like the lady said in the sunriseexposed.com expose by Millie Weaver. And if you haven't seen it, you got to do it. You just have to watch this to understand how long these individuals have been doing this. Because it's easy for people on the right to simply say, oh, this is purely a Democratic thing. These people want to own the Democratic Party. They are not, and the idea that the Democratic Party owns them, no, I don't even believe that. And I'm against the Democratic Party. They've gone off the deep end. They went off the deep end. Their philosophy is so, in my opinion, at this point, so antithetical to anything Americana that they've ever believed that I don't even know why there would be a reason to vote for any of them. And that breaks my heart in a way. By default, it puts me in a position as a person who believes in the reason of, that it's reasonable and practical to have two parties, that it's reasonable. It kind of puts me in a default position, which I don't like, by the way. But these people, last few videos, okay, we already saw that. Already saw that. So here's the thing. Last topic. I'm sorry we talked so long about this, but I wanted you to see this because everybody, maybe you fell for it too. The idea of, oh my gosh, man, what's going on with the polls? What are they reading? What are they doing? What, this and that. And I told you guys, I warned you. I said, don't freak out. It's not going to be decided on election night. That's the first thing. Number two, you have to know what the long con is of this. And we've detailed it for almost 2 months. I think it's like 2 months we've been doing this show. For two months or so, we've been detailing exactly what's gone on, the big steal. We've talked about the numbers. We've talked about how polls are manipulated. We've talked about how media is manipulated, how they're able to slice and dice specific parts of videos. We used a really controversial example. We used the George Floyd video, and we showed how so many of them, out of an 18-minute video or whatever, how so many of them were only showing the parts that were, I'm a good guy, I'm not a bad guy, calling out to his mom, saying I can't breathe, or please don't put me in the car. And they scrapped everything else that made it quite obvious that there was something really, really, really wrong with him in the moment, that he was blown out of his mind. And that the other people with him, that they weren't having the same problem resisting as him. For some reason, he was the one. They even admit that there's a lot of problems with him. And yet, the way they frame it, or the way that they framed the guys that, talking about those dudes that were supposedly going after Whitmer. They weren't just going after Whitmer. Look at the way that they framed it. They were going after people even in other states. Republicans and Democrats. But look at how they frame it. We've talked about frames. We've talked about this idea that we are in a civil war right now. And I said, people don't like talking about that. They don't want to hear that. They want to go about their day and do their thing. They don't want to deal with that. But, like my dad said, you got to dance with who you brought. You got to play the cards that you've been dealt. And that's where we are. So we have to equip ourselves. We have to equip ourselves in our minds and in our hearts. We have to pray. We have to give everything we've got, because it is on us at this point. It is on us to determine how do we move forward. We have to know, posture yourself strong. Ground yourself deep. Recall the roots that you have. Because we are in for crazy times. It's not over. Even if and when Trump is declared the winner, even if and when it is not over, even if Biden did, people can say all day long, well, it's over. No, it's not. No, it's not. That isn't a view. That's a view of media and a view of politics. That's baby talk. That's like the same kind of talk that says if we just go over there and bomb those guys, then terrorism will go away. That's not how it works. You go bomb those people, you've now made children extremely angry because daddy's dead, which sometimes you got to do. But the truth is, it's going to spawn more. We have to have different ways, which is, by the way, this guy, Pat Buchanan, it's one of the reasons that he helped to found the American Conservative magazine, was to be a voice of reason during the Iraq and Afghanistan wars. He's been a voice of reason for a long time. But he has this question, which we all should be asking ourselves. On the last days of the 2020 campaign, President Donald Trump was holding 4 and 5 rallies a day in battleground states, drawing thousands upon thousands of loyalists to each and every one. Waiting for hours, sometimes in the cold. Give me a second. To cheer their champion on. These rallygoers love Trump as few presidents have been loved. This writer cannot recall a president and campaign that brought out so many and such massive crowds of admirers in its closing days. And who are these cheering, chanting loyalists who have brought their children out with them to see and remember the great Trump in the eyes of our dispossessed elites. They're people who belong in a basket of deplorables. He's talking about you. He's talking about me. Does it still burn? Do you remember what it was like to be so disenfranchised? What it was like to have people so easily cast you aside? Sneered Hillary Clinton, racist, sexist, homophobic, xenophobic, Islamophobic, bigots, and a subspecies of humanity that is quote unquote irredeemable. Today's election is an us versus them choice, unlike any other. I said that yesterday. For the issues in dispute are broader and deeper than ever before, and those issues raised, man, I keep forgetting I'm up there. I'm sorry, guys. I didn't mean to do that. Probably been doing it for a while. And those issues raise questions. No matter who wins, can this nation come together again? And if it cannot, which is a real possibility, what form will America take as it disintegrates? Ask yourself that question. Can we? I've had a position for a while. In fact, for a couple years, where I have said that there's only two ways out of this. Either by the blood of Jesus or the blood of fellow Americans. You either take the knee for Jesus or you take the knee for a humanistic New World Order. It's one or the other. It's not both. And see, we have precedent for this, by the way, for both. We have precedent of a revolution, which at the time was us going against our own people. We forget this. That, in fact, was a kind of civil war. And then we have what we call our civil war, the war between the states, where we came against brother and brother, sister and sister. And you can see right now, you can see the seeds of bloodshed all over the place. You can see it in video after video, post after post of people saying that they can no longer be friends with their mom. They can no longer be family with their parents. They can no longer allow their parents to see their children. They're disowned. Best friends disowned. You see the seeds of this. In fact, that's the fruit of the seeds. And the rain that comes down every single day is the social media and the mainstream media that these individuals have thrown themselves into to be just under a complete flood, right? A complete overwhelming tsunami of psyop propaganda meant to divide, meant to conquer. What does it take? By the way, what does it take in your mind? Ask yourself sincerely, what is the process where we would get to a place where Americans would be facing off with Americans, guns pointed at each other? What would need to happen first? Chalking up the other side as the worst possible thing you can even imagine? Making them irredeemable? Would that be on the pathway? Calling them Nazis, calling them fascists, calling them Hitler, saying, look at the progression, look at how it began, and look at the development of this over time. It got to the place where certain radical fringe groups began coming out and executing violence against their political opponents. At first, it was stunning. But over time, people began to say, you know what? If that person, I don't normally support violence, but the truth is, if they're a Trump supporter, they're a Nazi, and, I'm not going to defend that. That's what happened. And then it goes from that to being, again, over and over, every single day, bombarded from every corner, right? Completely bombarded by waves of disinformation from the mainstream media over and over and over again. And what made it worse was that they were not only okay with it, but they'd let their guards down because hatred is a heck of a drug. And now it's just complete lunacy. What do you do? Where does that go? How do you, and here's the last thing. There's a way where we can sit there and say, okay, when you get to that place where you believe that the other side is just Nazis, that's just it. You get to that and you call daddy and you call mama and you call them Nazis. When you do that, I've said this before, if you're drunk, right? If you're drunk and you're sitting there, blah, blah, you're doing your thing. You're doing your thing. And you call somebody, hey, man, you're a Nazi. I don't like you, man. And you do that. How do you pull that back? Let's get out of this. How do you pull that back? How do you say you're sorry? At least you can say you're drunk. It's not the best excuse in the world. But there's culpability, right? You're making bad decisions. That's scientifically verifiable, right? You make bad decisions when you're blown. And you can say, look, dude, I was really trashed. I shouldn't have said that. It might show something a little bit about you. And maybe you guys can talk it out. But it kind of takes the edge off, doesn't it? It takes the edge off of that affront. But what if you're sober? What if you're sober? What if you've been thinking about it for a while? What if you make a video about it to share with all your friends? What if you post about it every day and you talk about how you're done with your family? What if you write blogs and articles about it? What if you get to the place where you're going into their home and yelling at them and sharing the videos online so that you can be reassured by your cult following that everything is fine and that you aren't the only one? You did the right thing. Pat you on the back. If you really believe that, and you've accepted the idea of political violence being done by people who are not involved with the state, you know you've given up on the idea that the state has a monopoly on the use of violence. You've given up on this. You now say, you know what? You can use that. You've completely redefined everything that has made what your philosophy was, even with things to do with, I don't know, spanking or bullying. You're completely out of whack. You've had to reassess the most core convictions. And in what direction? I support you doing that. But in what direction? I don't know. You know, the slippery slide to HE double hockey sticks direction. And that's what you are. If that's the case, and it is, what is next? Are any of you surprised by what you see? He says, today we're divided over ideology, morality, culture, race, and history. We're divided over whether America is a great nation we were raised to revere and love, or a nation born in great sins and crimes. In this divided country, at times, Americans seem to detest each other. Indeed, if the United States did not exist as one nation, would this diverse people ever agree to form a compact to come together? Or would we seek to retain our separate identities? And I would simply add, what happens when a civilization no longer has that kind of common core at the center, which can only be found, by the way, in religion? You're not going to find it anywhere else. You're going to find it in the traditions and religious values of a people. Otherwise, you are going to have tribalism. You are going to have the most rampant kind of balkanization that we can imagine. And it's what we have right now. Which is why we say on this show, you have to take a knee for Jesus Christ. You have to. Because the only option other than that, as history with our guide, is bullets. I don't want that. I talk a tough game. The truth is, I'm a peace and love kind of guy. I want Americans to be able to disagree and not be to the point where they're okay with throwing bricks at buildings and bricks at people to say, all right, we disagree. You make some good points. I make some good points. Let's move forward. How do we do that? Because you know what? America, and I used to say this all the time, when you wake up and when I wake up, and we're inevitably do this as long as you are alive, as long as you're not in some kind of coma, your eyes are going to wake up to the sun. You're going to wake up. Your body's going to say, get up, bro. That's how God made us. And the thing is, whenever we do that and we open our eyes to a world that is filled with 7 billion people, most of whom disagree with us. Get used to it. Accept that as a first assumption that you live in a world that may not just disagree with you, but many, many, many of them would love to see you dead and your ideas gone forever, obliterated, done. And you know what? The same may in fact be true of you. How do you live? You have a choice. You have an ancient path and you have a different path. In fact, that's where Paleocrat came from. When I made that word and I concocted the idea of the ancient rule or the old authority, right? That whole idea years and years ago, when I did that, it was after having read from the book of Jeremiah, talking about the crossroad, talking about the paths that you can choose and our need to go in the old way. I'm sorry for getting preachy, but the fact is, it's where we are. It's where we are. And I don't just want to show you scary things and tell you what's real without also making very crystal clear that just as real is a hope that we have that things can change and that we can be part of that, and that it's hard and that it will demand that we give it everything we've got. So the question is, what are you willing to do? What am I willing to do? I put it on the line every day, guys. I could get banned any day. I can get banned for so many things that I say. But I am resolved because I have a cross. Period. End of story. I have a cross. I got kids. I got a wife. And I've got this burning zeal for Christ the King and to make America great again. I've got a burning fire, man, in my heart and in my mind to sit there and say, it's going to happen. We have to believe. We got to do it. We got to give it everything we got. And even if it doesn't happen, I will not bend my knee to the godless New World Order. Never. Never. I love you guys. All right. Oh, man. Meme time. We go from that. I wanted to be able to do something happier, to be like a transition, right? Bum, 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 bum. It's happy time. It is happy. We should be happy warriors and realize that, you know what? Okay, it's super serious. I got really serious on you guys, right? I'm punching your heart out. Blah, 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 blah. I'm giving it to you good and strong. But the thing is, we are happy warriors. Happy warriors. And that's why we can smile, even and especially in light of some of the worst crap. I saw it. I saw it in my daughter. Living life with childhood brain cancer, going through some of the worst things in the world. And it didn't mean that she was naive about it. In fact, she knew about it intimately, the dangers, the different ways that this could go. And in fact, when it began to go the super hard, tragic way, we kept her aware of it the entire time. And there were moments where she was sad. She was a human. She was an amazing girl. But the fact is, she could wake up every day, and even when she's going through all of those things, to keep resolved in her heart, never give up, keep on smiling. Always. Memento mori to that. I love you guys. Ben, never. Yes. We love you too. I am so happy, by the way. I know, I got to say one more thing about this. I know we're going over, but the truth is, Ben's a really important person to us. She's the godmother of Wolfgang Phoenix, okay? She's an amazing person, you know. Give big love over to Ben. But we've talked before, obviously. You know, we select good godparents. But the thing is she really liked the fact that I was more mild-mannered. I used to do these podcasts, right? And, you know, she watches a lot of different shows, and she likes a lot of different ones, so she likes different styles of things. But my old podcast, the Paleocrat Diaries, when it first started, there were some videos, you know, and there were a lot of just audio podcasts that I would do, and you can find them in the Paleocrat Diaries playlist at the very beginning of it on YouTube at youtube.com/Paleocrat. But the thing is that, you know, I was just simply more informative back then. It was all pre-recorded. It was all in audio, so it was a certain tone and style. I wouldn't say I was John Tesh in it, you know, but I was awfully close. I was awfully close. And then I decided I'm going to do the live show, right? Jonathan Ross over at Holy Faith Media, he hooks me up and says, look, you know, he's kind of begging me, saying, look, you got to come over, man. I really love to have you over here. And so I do. I go over there, and, you know, next thing I know, I'm pulling my hair out. And I'm acting like a wild person. I'm talking about animal uprisings and stuff. And so, you know, I'm grateful for I'm grateful that she loves us, and I'm grateful that she knows the difference sometimes between who I am on when we do this, because there is a dynamic to this that is mass medium, right? But she knows that in private, I'm not going. She knows that I'm not doing that in private, you know, screaming and growling and doing my thing, right? And that's part of this. And so I'm really grateful for her and her continued support. I just got to say, I mean, it's a big, huge contribution on so many levels, And, you know, we're just eternally grateful for having people like her in our lives. All righty. Switching over here. We only got a couple because I've gone over. It's okay. It happens. I even said earlier this week, we're not going to go over. We're not going to do that. You know, we're going to keep it, you know, we're going to keep it real tight because I got to write books too. I got to write some books. It's NaNoWriMo. And I'm doing that. I'm a little bit behind because of the election, but I'm a trooper. And so I shall do my best to make sure that happens. All right. If you have memes, make sure to send them to us, paleocratdiaries@gmail.com, or connect with me on any of the social media platforms where you have the privilege to follow what I'm doing. So make sure to do that, guys. All right, kid. Mommy, how come my dinosaur doesn't roar anymore? Like all my tractors stopped making digging noises. And I was like, I don't know, I swear. Yeah, you got to have batteries in the hand, though. You know what I'm saying? Oh, dude. You know, it's funny because we've done that a couple times. There's, you know, some toys that are really, really rough, and you're like, you're pulling out the stuff, you know, making up stories that it's kind of like a quiet place. You can't put that battery in there or the monster's going to come. No, we don't really do that. But my brother, man, growing up, and I actually feel really badly about this. My brother, he's has disability, mental issues. He was in an accident. He has a closed head injury. He's one of the coolest dudes, though, but he's got a bad habit, man. He's got a bad habit of watching movies over and over and over and over and over, like ad nauseum. So he could watch, like, I remember we've been through Little Mermaid and Aladdin and all that, but the worst one, and I love this movie, which is why I had to do what I did, was The Sandlot. Okay, I love that movie, by the way. And so it may be one of my favorite kids movies, right? And so he was watching it over and over and over, and just to save the meaningfulness of that movie, we took it and we hid it behind the couch. And it was behind that couch for a long time. In fact, I think for years. We may have done that to Little Mermaid too. I may have done that to Little Mermaid. Right, to save it. When you're part of a group, but not part of the conversation. Oh, dude, that's so sad. Why are you sending me sad memes, man? And I make sure you guys are always part of the conversation. Always. Yeah, Winged Hussar says, hi, Jeremiah. Hi, Barbara. Hi, Winged. Nice to see you. You're at the end of the show. We're about to end. But hey, I'm glad you showed up. We're every single Monday through Friday from 10 to noon. Or like today, we go way over. It's fun. How much faith do you have in the human race? Me. I looked both ways at a roundabout. Yeah, just so do I, man. That's safe, you know. Better safe than sorry, and especially with people. And nowadays, you know, with the animal uprising of 2020, you don't know if it's really just people. I mean, we had that picture of the little dog in the car at the drive-thru. You never know. You never know what's going on. Or the owl that was in the helicopter, learning all of the stuff, man, for that. I'm going to the store. Do you want anything? Oh, yeah. Doesn't it feel this way, by the way? It was kind of cool. It was a sense of freedom. When I went to go vote yesterday, we got there, and right as we're going into the church, I sit there and I'm like, oh, dude, I forgot a mask. And I wasn't even thinking. We're walking outside. And my wife's like, oh, we don't need one. And I'm thinking, are you tricking me? Like, is this real? And she goes, no, it's on the site. You don't need one. And I'm like, oh. So I go in. Nobody brought it up. Nobody said a word. Dude, it felt like the normal. You know what I mean? Not the new normal. Not the dystopian normal. I'm talking normal. For a very, very, very long time, that was normal for everybody. And it's the normal that we fight every day to restore and keep going. Obscure knowledge and conspiracy theories, me, my new friend. Okay, yeah, I do that. In fact, people ask me all the time, they're like, you know, especially people that first meet me and stuff, they're like, oh, dude, man, I saw your show, or, you know, it's really cool. I've seen some of your videos and whatnot, or read some of your blogs, and even contributions to other sites and everything. And, boy, you know, what do you think about this? And they'll bring up something that they think might be obscure, and I'm like, oh, no, I know a lot about that. I know a lot about that. When you have to pretend you're not taking pictures just so you can get a decent picture of your kids. Is this what the guy dressed up as when there was that wild turkey story yesterday. And the person had to dress up in order to try to get the wild turkey. But they dressed up like an old woman. This, on the other hand, this is taking it to another level. Although, honestly, I would kind of like to be able to be in one of those things and just, you know, go around. Just to go around. You know, and it looks pretty legit. I can imagine, you know, it looks more legit than than Goat Man. Remember that? Oh yeah, come on over, guys. All right, as we are getting ready to go, I want to thank the staff and everybody who helped us. Oh, hold on a second.
I think Athens coming.
Oh, Athens coming down?
Maybe.
Okay.
Hard to gauge, but.
All right. Yeah, I want to thank my staff. And we joke around and I say, oh, you know, you got the staff here. We've got Castle Paleocrat, right? We got Ailey and the whole gang. And the thing is, this is what I mean right here, okay? This is my staff. They're actually home right now doing homeschooling for the week, right? Because of stuff that was going on with the school and with the Rona. So keep those kids, by the way, in some prayer. But very excited, man, about these kids. Is he coming down? There he is. Okay, so the whole gang, they got to watch today. This, by the way, is Ambrose. And little Louie. Oh, yeah, dude. Okay, very, very good. Yeah, oh, Wolfgang's not here, though. Wolfgang, it's okay. So here's little Louie right here. Little Lucian Ignatius. Right there, Ambrose Lewis. This right here is Isaac Athanasius. Get in the frame a little bit. There you go. I can see your face now. Yeah. He's our teenager. He's the one who recently got the MRI. Everything turned out great. But he might need some of that human growth hormone. And then behind him, over there, that is my brown-eyed girl, Teresa Avila. We call her T-Bear, but she says don't let anybody know. Okay, so shh, don't tell anybody. But I'm glad that they came down here, not just because they helped to make this show what it is, but the reality of the situation is I do this show for them. I do it because we're trying really hard to be able, even just to offset the costs that we've incurred due to a sacrifice. Oh, here, you want to sit up here? That we've made to send them. Hold on. That we've made to send them to Sacred Heart Academy. And I'm really proud. We all are. We are very proud of that school and all the great things that that school does. It is amazing. It's one of a kind. And we absolutely love it. And it's a sacrifice. And I thought, you know, it's the kind of thing that I said, I can do this. I can do these shows, have a lot of fun, and let people know and say, you can join the movement, right? And it helps in many different ways. And once it's done for that good cause, we'll put it toward more. we'll keep putting that toward good causes, because that's what this is all about. And so we're really grateful for each and every one of you. We're grateful that you tune in, that you share it with your friends, and that you even use the language. I saw a comment recently about a great animal uprising, and it was hilarious. I don't think the person even knew I was going to be seeing it. I was kind of floating around. It's rare. But it was awesome to see. And the wolf pack and everything else, howling at the sun and all of that. And so we're really, really, really grateful. And as we go, okay, I'm going to play this music and let you know these are the closing words, everybody, okay? You guys are going to have to salute with me, too, okay? So I'll let you know when. Here we go. Here we go. I love this song. My kids can't hear it, but I can. It is the cue that stuff is over for the day, and that we are going to enjoy the remainder of the day, because it's the day that the Lord has made, and we are going to rejoice, aren't we? And be glad in it. Make sure to go to paleocratdiaries.com to learn more about the show. Make sure to go to paleocratdiaries@gmail.com for anything to do with interviews and speeches and other inquiries. And remember, tonight, Meaning of Catholic, I'm live at 10 p.m. It's going to be a whole bunch of fun. He said it's over. Let's salute, guys. And to all of you out there all over the world, we say never give up. Keep on smiling. And memento mori. If I don't talk into microphones, I don't make that mad cash. Making all that money. Making that mad loot, right?
Mind control.
So we see the minority elite imposing their ideology on an unwilling and resentful populace. This causes a backlash. People get ticked off. The left is working long and hard to make us feel as if we've done something wrong. Worse yet, that we are the problem. Don't let people just rip on your heritage. Don't let people just rip on your traditions. Don't let people rip on your heroes. Stand up for what you believe, what made you who you are. So unless this disenfranchised majority begins standing up for what they believe in their heart of hearts to be true, I think we'd be left with nothing more than a dirge and maybe a funeral procession.